Hi guys, we went to the store and
We bought porterhouse steaks.
for steak here,
$4.77 a pound.
$4.77 a pound,
In Walmart, they were how much
$14.59 per
per
pound.
pound?
So it's very a good deal.
Saved over 10.
It's really cheap. It's a good deal. And then we bought also a hamburger patties.
10 for a dollar.
10 for $10. So a dollar.
10 for a dollar.
No, 10 for 10. So it's $1 per piece.
Dollar hamburger.
Okay, so we got 4 T-bone steak times 2.
They're big. They're thick cut.
They're thick cut. They're big.
They're good steaks.
Here, see?
I cut meat for 8 years. I know what I'm doing. They're beautiful. This is the filet mignon. This is the New York. Filet New York. Filet New York. Filet New York. Filet New York. Filet.
Yep. So we will eat this maybe a year. Because one
No, we got John coming. Him and his girlfriend. They're going to eat steaks.
eat one of this. That's too big.
We share it.
Thick
One's
slice.
big enough for both of us.
That's right. And then I bought some chocolate chip muffin mix. At saka bumili din ako ng mango, $1 per piece, so 50 pesos. And then the spring onion, 2 cucumber or pipino. Then dalawang fruit cocktail. Lalagyan ng cottage cheese. I bought cottage cheese too.
You mix that.
You mix it and it's good. Okay, so this is our mini grocery shopping because of the good deal of the T-bone steak.
Which we've already bought.
He's working on putting it in a freezer paper, wax paper, so it will last longer, right, Han?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, here, Han, say hi to my friends.
Hi, friends. I used to cut meat back in 8 years, in the 70s, in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s. Porterhouse steaks back then, these steaks here cost more than what I bought these for. These were $4.77 a pound. Back then, they were about $5 something a pound. So 30 years ago, they
Wax
were more money
paper,
than what I
freezer
paid.
paper, and here's all the steaks. That's his job. So anyway,
Now, keep filming. I'm going to show you a little secret when you buy steaks. You probably want to do this. You turn it over. Now we're going to scrape the bone out. This is all bone marrow. It comes from the cut when they cut the meat. You don't really want to eat this. Most people don't realize it's there. If there's a meat in here, remove that. A lot of times the meat cutter will not remove that. That's a spinal cord. You don't want to eat the spinal cord.
that's not the bone marrow?
No, that's spinal cord that's in here.
Oh.
That's the little device when just take a knife, butter knife, and get the bone marrow off of it. Who wants to eat bone marrow? I don't.
Yeah, some people eat bone marrow, you know. Me, I don't.
Not this here. This is not bone marrow. This is sawdust. This is the bone itself,
Oh, okay.
not the marrow.
Did you finish this one?
I want you to go ahead and run a little video. I'm going to educate some people here while I'm doing this.
Okay. Here, I'll put it in here.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
While I'm wrapping these steaks, I think I showed you, get the bone marrow off of the meat by take your butter knife and just scrape it. That's bone dust. Probably the most tender piece of meat in a carcass of beef. And what the stores do, they'll pull this off and sell that separately as filet mignon, which is what it is. Very, very tender. I think it lacks some flavor because it doesn't have the motion. Then they take this in, that's your New York steak. So you got New York tenderloin, filet. Now, I've had a lot of women come in. I'm in my 20s, 50 years old, 60. How do I cook something? I'm a young guy. I look at them and think, you got gray hair, lady, and you're asking a 20-year-old kid how to cook something. Well, guess what? There's only 2 ways to cook. 2 kinds. Moisture or dry heat. That's the only 2 ways you're going to cook. Dry heat is for your more tender meat. The porterhouse, T-bones, rib steaks, ribeye, clubs. That's the moisture requires it's your roast, the tougher part from the front quarter. Now, what else would what else do I want to pass on? Oh, there's a ton of things. There's a lot of tricks to the trade. Let me give you a little example. One time, I had a kid come in. He was a Marine, and he said, "I just got married, and my in-laws are coming. I've never met them. They're flying in. They live in New York, and I don't have a lot of money. I know that. You're a Marine, but I'd like to make an impression on them. Do you have something that don't cost me a ton of money that will be a good piece of meat?" He said, "Man, it's probably impossible." I glanced over at the counter on my table, my work table, and I got about 12 first cut, blade cut chuck roast. The best, most tender, most flavorful piece of meat in there, besides the filet does not have the flavor, is the eye of that blade first cut. There's 2 blade cuts come off of a front quarter. The first cut, blade cut chuck roast, peel the eye out. That's the most delicious piece of meat you'll ever eat. I told him, no problem. I went over and he wanted 6 or 8 steaks. I had them. I sold him the eye for the price of hamburger because that's what I was going to do. I'm boning out these blade cuts because they didn't sell, and we're going to grind them into hamburger. In the meat business, you'll learn your first loss is your least loss. Don't mess with it, sell it. Get rid of it. If it's $4 a pound, sell it for $2 a pound. Don't try $3.80. First loss, least loss. So, long story short, the in-laws come, they have a barbecue. A week and a half later, the meat supervisor comes in. "Jerry, I want to talk to you." We go in the back room there, and he says, "Here, I got a letter." The guy wrote a letter, the guy from New York. He said he had never in his experience eaten such a good steak. It was the best steak I've ever eaten in my life. I've eaten in the finest restaurants in New York City, and nothing compared to these steaks. And it was only 49 cents a pound. So the meat supervisor says, "What the heck did you sell that kid?" I told him, I said, "I had the blade cut sitting out there. You peeled the eye out and you sold him the eye." I said, "Absolutely. I was going to grind him. I give it to him for hamburger price." He said, "Great job. We got a customer for life. If he makes it back," because he's going to Vietnam. "If he makes it back, we got a customer for life." And that's true. In order for you to get that, you got to buy the whole roast. It's a big piece of meat, and you're going to get a little bitty eye out of it. Now, in our days, we couldn't sell the tail of the sirloin, and I can't remember what they call it today. Today they sell like crazy. But one thing in those days you didn't want to do, you did not want to buy the chicken that was in the roasters. They got barbecue chicken, $4 for the whole chicken, cooked, ready to go. All you got to do is eat it. What chicken do you think's in that being cooked? The ones that are spoiling. Get rid of them. Your first loss is your least loss. We fill the zinc up full of water. We put baking soda in it. We take those chickens, we wash them in baking soda, try to get most of the stink off of them, and then we cook them. Cooking stops the spoiling process. If you were to eat chicken at a certain temperature, it is the one meat that will kill you. The bacteria in the chicken is as it heats up, it gets greater. At one temperature, if it starts out at 1, the old example, and it goes to 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, it multiplies. The bacteria in that chicken gets, if you eat it at that, when it's not cooked, and it has at certain temperature, it has enough bacteria, it will kill you if you ate it, but you won't eat it because it's too raw. As it further along as it cooks, the bacteria starts to die. Therefore, it's safe to eat. In those days, I would never buy a chicken that was in a rotisserie. I don't know. I got a lot of things I know, but I can't remember. I'm 81 years old, and I have a hard time remembering. But these steaks that I bought for $4.77 a pound, we was in Walmart. I looked at the price of these steaks in Walmart. They were $14 and some cents, almost $15 a pound. The bill come to $193, and with the discount, it would come to $93. So I saved $100. If I think of anything else, I'll let you know. But in the meantime, everything is cut the same. Lamb is cut the same. Pork is cut the same. Beef is cut the same. If you butcher a human being, you cut him the same way. You contain porterhouses in your body. You contain T-bones. You contain rib steaks. Everything that we sell in the meat case, if we butchered humans, we could put you in a meat case and sell you the same, be the same cuts. The amazing part today is there are no saws in the store. There are no knives in the store. The truth of the matter is there's no meat cutters. And we were not butchers. The butcher is the guy that goes to the farm and kills the cow or the pig. And I don't know why some stores advertise grass-fed. I don't want to buy one. It's fed just grass. In those days, they had finishing lots. What's a finishing lot? The farmer would raise the cow so big, and then he'd sell them, and they'd put him in the finishing lot, and they would grain him to get him tender and get him flavor. So they'd take him off grass and put him in the finishing lot. Which all of a sudden I had a flash of something else to remember that's kind of important. But all of a sudden I can't remember what the heck it is. Being 81 years old, not easy. Who knows if I think of a lot of tricks. There are no more meat cutters. If you can read a box on the label, you can be a meat cutter. But when I go in the grocery store and I'm talking to these guys that work in the meat department, I tell them I used to have your job. Oh, really? Yeah, I used to be a meat cutter. Oh, yeah. When? Back in the late 60s and early 70s. Oh, my God. Boy, you broke beef. Absolutely. We didn't get anything. Everything come in, we had to break it. They don't have the slightest idea. Boy, I wish I knew. I wish I had your knowledge. Well, you can read, you do your job. No saws, no knives, no grinders, no meat tenderizers, no cube machines, nothing. Anyway, that's my story. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you kind of learned a little something. She did a video where they seen a paper towel, and she got a lot of criticism using a paper towel. I agree. You don't use a paper towel. I use a paper towel. I use a paper towel when I take it out of the package and I pat it dry. There's moisture on it. I don't want that moisture, and put it in and wrap it up and put it in the freezer. You pat the steak dry, get the moisture off, run that butter knife and get that bone dust off of there. Freeze it. It'll last you a long time. Wrap it good. Get good freezer paper. Use wax paper. And you always date the package. I write porterhouse steak. How many's in there? 1. Circle the 1, the date, and put the date on it. You go to the freezer 3 months later. This is the oldest one I got. I'll use it. You know what's in it. You know how many's in it, and you know the date you froze it.
Ayan na yung mga steak na binalot ni Hubby. Puno na. Thank you guys for watching. Say thank you for watching.
Tune in later when